All right, we are a go. We are live. Welcome everybody. Let's just go over really quickly about the plan for today. So I'm here in the mission control, and these are my active contracts. And there's three in particular that I have that I want to draw attention to. This one here to position a satellite in a specific orbit of Kerbin, and then these two for specific orbits about the moon. And the plan is that I want to satisfy these contracts. They're all very different orbits in different places. And then what I want to do is shuffle them all over and make a functional relay network in around the moon. So that's sort of the plan. So if you want to see an episode where there's going to be a lot of orbital finagling and shuffling about, then this should be one for you. Hello, Javier, and welcome. So why don't we get started right away? We're going to pop into the vehicle assembly building, and I'm going to try and keep the building to a minimum on this one by building one satellite and one rocket that can do all of them, and then just launch all three of them. So I worked out the budgets for all of them, and the most expensive, actually let me show you. I think you can see it better in the tracking station. The one that's the most expensive is, oh, there's two of them here. I think one of these two. I'll make sure to go to the right one when we go to it. I don't know why there are two, but one of the this is the most expensive one to get out into an orbit like this, and then shuffle it over to the moon, and then we're going to put it in orbit about the moon. And then if we go to where the moon is, there are these two that we're going to put satellites in and then adjust their orbits. And what I want is all of them in the same circular orbit, forming a nice equilateral triangle around the moon. That's going to be the plan. And they're all going to be three identical satellites. So hopefully with seeing those orbits made that a little bit more sensible. Hello there, Michael, and welcome. All right, so let's get started here with the probe core. The most expensive mission is the one where I got to put it in that big orbit about Kerbin and then go to the moon. So I'm going to build all of them so they can do that, and then I'm just going to launch three of them. And I'm just thinking here, I'm looking at my budgets at the same time. If I put about 300 meters per second in this should be, it's not going to be the whole thing, but that should be the, here we go. Let's just get started. Let's just start building. So I'm going to put an Oscar B on the bottom. Going to take a little ant engine, stick that down there. Make sure this is on vacuum. That's already huge. We're going to put on the two of these HG5 high gain antennas. Actually, I think I'm going to put them down here. Let's get them rotating the right way. Always the last button you pick. There we go. So that's for the communication, for the relayness of it. Batteries. Yeah. What kind of batteries do I got? Let's use a bunch. 6 of those. That's going to be more than enough. And solar panels. We'll put solar panels all around this. I've been playing a lot over the last couple of days with my modded game. They should be seeing the premiere for that coming out next week. I hope to see a lot of people there for that. But I'm playing that game with Kerbalism installed, and you got to think so much about electricity, and I got to keep reminding myself, relax, you're not forgetting anything. A few solar panels and batteries, and this thing's going to be fine in stock. So that should be it. What do we got? Oh my god, a ridiculous quantity of Delta V. Do I have a smaller? I don't think I have a smaller fuel tank than that one, unless I go to monopropellant. Well, I do have the dumpling. Is that a lot small? It's like half the size. Ooh, let's put a dumpling on here. I know I'm already getting distracted. Let's put one of these, and we'll kind of sink it in there. Even this is going to be too much fuel. I like my satellites and probes and things to be as small as they can be, and I'm just doing my best here to sort of center it on there so that there won't be a ton of torque. Adding a docking port is a good idea. We're going to live on the edge and not do that. Do I have any kind of small structural parts? Yeah, oh, I do. There we go. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And then we'll put on 6 of those. And I'm not going to put, just going to put these on here. 2. 6 is ridiculous. And we want that ant engine back. So there it is. It's a little bit smaller now. And we're even going to take this little dumpling fuel tank. And we're going to take... That should be good. I like it looking like a basketball. So there it is. That's our little probe. That's the whole thing. We're going to make 3 of them. So retract the antennas. I think that's going to service us nicely. So we're going to now build a booster for this. Now this thing is... Oh no, what we need to build is a carrier, like a little... to get it into the orbits it needs to be in. So we're going to have to build another stage. Decoupling, that's what I'm looking for. There we go. And we want the TDT, yep, this guy here. And I want a total delta V of around maybe 1,700 meters per second. That should get the whole job done. I got a feeling this is going to already be overkill. I think so. What if I put that one and then a little spark engine on the bottom of it? Is that still going to be overkill? Do I not have the spark? I do have the spark. There it is. Is that still overkill? Not by much, but it is a little bit. Can I go smaller? Smaller is always better. Like just like a couple of these and a spark on the bottom. That's already okay. Yeah, we're not doing that. We don't need much. In fact, that's already, again, I'm shooting for about 17, maybe a little more, in the whole thing. Wow. I'm not even sure. Let's go even smaller. How about a couple of these spiders? These radial spider engines. Well, that was a hit. Did that reduce my delta V going to the spiders over the spark? No, it didn't. I'm just crazy. I think I took a tank off and forgot that I took a tank off. A little bit more than that. I think thrust away. Am I okay with this? Oh yeah. So a little bit more fuel. So we're gonna pull out again these little dumpling dudes. How big is an Oscar? 18. Oh, that's 2 Oscars. All right. We'll put another Oscar on there, and we'll just take a lot of the fuel out. That is more than enough. We'll just take out some of this fuel. 1837. That should be fun. So this is going to be. That's it. This is enough to get the job done. We just need to get that now into orbit. At least by my calculations. Who knows? Things might go stupid wrong here. But this is about 800 kilograms of mass. How are my boosters? Oh, they're all ridiculously too big. So we're going to build a fresh booster. That's okay. Again, we're going to take the smaller of this one, coupler, and I'm going to stick a octagonal strut under it just to clear the engines a little bit, and then we're going to put a fairing on that. 1.25 meter fairing should service us nicely. Is it going to be it's a little, got to come a little bit bigger. Get around. There is, I just discovered this yesterday, I don't know if this is new with 1.10, but C to toggle the snap on the fairing, so now the fairing doesn't snap anymore. Do you see the difference there? Let me get it to click there. But now it's like not snapping. I can put it anywhere, and if I hit C, it snaps into position. I think, I don't know how new that is. I find myself typically discovering things well after they have been first put into the game. There we go. Okay, clamshell deploy, put that on 4. All right, and we need to, there, put this into space. Is this, yeah, that's a good one. I don't think this is going to take too much. We'll stick a swivel on the bottom of this. Let's turn off some engines here. There we go. I did that so that I can just see how much delta V is in the booster. I'm going to aim for about 3,600 meters per second. There's still a ton of thrust there, so I can probably put another one of these tanks on there. There we go, 3728. We'll put in a set of reaction wheels. I think I got the bigger ones, I do. In the middle, we'll put a few of these tail fins on. Still got lots of delta V. Yeah, I'm gonna do one more thing. This is for all the debris Nazis out there that hate having orbital debris. Is if I put in a probe body, where are we here? Get the hex one, that's the better of the two. Stick that in there, put in a couple of batteries. Just 2 batteries should do her. Oh, it doesn't have to be pretty. There we go. What this, now this probe on the bottom has the ability to do some work itself, and you can deorbit it. It's a nice thing to do, and if you really want to, you can stick some parachutes on this thing and recover it. I'm not going to bother with that, but if that's your thing. I've noticed my delta V dropped a little bit with that extra weight. Thrust is still good, I think. Definitely, so I can afford to put another tank on here. Let's put on... Actually, where's the center of mass of this thing? Right about where I want it to be. Okay, we're going to put it on the bottom here. Right, actually on the very bottom. That's where we're going to put it. I'm getting too picky about where I'm putting this tank. Doesn't need a little bit more fuel. Put it back on vacuum. 3624, that should be good. Okay. Fins. Okay, let's texturize this and dress it up a little bit. I kind of like... We're going to go with that. Let's go... Are we going to go all orange? Yes, we are. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to take this. We're going to flip it around. So those match. And then we're going to put this one on orange. Ooh. And then we're going to put this one on orange. It's all orange. Yep. Yep, yep. Yep, 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 yep. Okay. I think this is looking all right. I think this is looking like a thing. What's our thrust to weight ratio at the bottom? 1.38. So I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. That was a little bit too much. 95. 96. 96.5. Thrust to weight of 1.33 at launch. Good, good, good. Otherwise, launch clamps. Yeah, you can definitely add parachutes to that first stage and recover it. I'm just not going to bother. I typically find in my career modes, although I like managing money, I find money is the resource that I usually am not in too short supply of. Close that. I think that should, let's put some action groups on here. When we get into space, I got used to this being 0 in my, we're going to toggle that, and we're going to toggle these antennas on. And I'm using a little bit of a cheat with my tier 2 vehicle assembly bay, and this guy, but if you click on the parts, you get all the action groups, which I find funny. I don't care. I like having all the action groups. I think I'm going to do this. I think this is the whole thing. So, let's just launch. Oh wait, we never called this anything. So these are this is a moon relay. And this, we're going to launch 3 of these all told. But all of these should be able to get the job done by, oh wait, turn on these engines again. I believe this should be enough to get the job done, and if not, I will apologize in advance. But I think we should be good. So, save that. Launch. Oh, wobbly wobbly, that's always disconcerting. I'm just going to, why don't we discover this right now, whether the fairings deploy nicely. So deploy, good, nothing broke. I know that feels cheap, but I hate when the fairings, revert flight to launch, I hate when the fairings break off antennas and solar panels and things like that. But I know the confetti deploy is safer, but I don't like the confetti deploy, so I just wanted to test that. All right, now we are going to, let's look at our contracts, because I noticed there were 2. We're put a satellite in orbit of Kerbin. That's our one. And we're going into an inclination of 5.5 degrees, and then this altitude in around 9,000 kilometers. So, oh, now there's only one, so the other one must have been, okay, that's cool. So, because this is inclined, see that? What I want to do is put myself into a parking orbit. Just going to turn off the station there. I'm going to put myself into a parking orbit that is going to be inclined in that same plane. And in order to do that, I want to launch at, if you take this and just line up the 2 equatorial ascending and descending nodes, I just missed the launch window. So I'm going to come around the other side here. Again, just take those 2 node icons, get them as close as you can together. Oh my gosh. That's close enough for now. And we want to launch right at one of those nodes. And we're going to be launching towards the north at an angle of 5.5 degrees. Just line this up again because I know things have moved while we were time warping. I am really, there we go. So a little closer. So we're going to launch to the north. Sorry, it looks like a sunset launch. That's what it is. 5.5 degrees towards the north. So we'll go about 6 degrees, 7 degrees towards the north. So north is the smaller number. So subtracting 6 or 7. So about heading of about 83, 84 degrees. Okay. This, and go. We are off. And I never did test this thing, so hopefully it will fly good. Just waiting to pick up a little bit of speed, and then we'll start. Actually, it's already kind of pitching over a little bit. Okay, we gotta go set. What did I say? About 84, 83, 84 degrees. Come on, we can pitch over better than that. Let's lock that on prograde. Okay, that's too far to the south or north. Again, I'm just looking at my heading numbers, really. That's pretty close. Put that on there so we can keep track of my apoapsis. Going up a little steeply, but I'm just going to let it ride. They should remaster the Reliant and the Swivel. I'm working at keeping this game completely mod-free, but if you want stock parts, but stock parts that look better, I cannot recommend more strongly the Restock mod. It is a beauty if you're willing to put in mods. Okay, we're about at 80 kilometers here on the Apoapsis, and boom. And we can also, I'm pretty sure, advanced orbital info, there's our inclination, 4.8 degrees. So we're a little bit shy of our target, but that's okay. We'll finish it off in orbit. Very steep ascent. Hang on to the fairings just a little longer. No reason to get rid of them in a hurry. Okay, let's get rid of the fairings. There we go. And how far are we from Apoapsis? We're still getting close. Okay. What I'm going to do, because I want to watch... Let's go a little bit further. Okay, I'm going to hit 0 to do all that. And then we're going to go up here. And I'm going to do this from this view. I don't normally do it from here, but this way I can watch both my apoapsis, my periapsis when it appears, whoops, and my inclination. So I can see that I need to pull a little bit more towards... Oh my gosh, I'm still locked on prograde, dummy. There we go. Come on, get this going. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm already very close to my... But this way I can watch inclination here as well as my apoapsis. I need to get inclinations a little high now. I can watch both at the same time. I got started a little late on that. Lock that on prograde. That's perfect on the inclination front. If anything, though, I think I might have started my burn a little late. Maybe not. Nope, we're good. Start reducing throttle. As we get close to our apoapsis, I don't want this apoapsis to get away on me. So let it get a little closer, in fact. Now, in fact, I can look at this. Am I out of fuel? I'm out of fuel. Shoot. That stage ran out of fuel. Oops. Hopefully this will all go okay still. We don't have our orbit yet. Okay, you're gonna cut that. Okay, still got 1,761 meters per second. I think that should be okay. So that stage ran out of fuel. Took me a while to recognize it, but we got our inclination perfect, 5.5 degrees, and the advantage of that is if we take a look at my blue orbit here, we'll lose some there. It should be exactly in the same plane as the red orbit. That's the idea. So now I can simply just create a node anywhere and just get out there. In fact, why don't I do this quickly? We can get up there to apoapsis. I can take a look. There's my target apoapsis. Actually, let's not put that on. I can see my target apoapsis over here somewhere, right? This one. Okay, maneuver node. I want a target apoapsis of... Okay, it's got to be a little later. No, a little earlier. And I want that target apoapsis. Sorry, this is going quick. I can see things going on in the chat, but I got it of 9,655. Oh, that's more than good enough. Right there. Okay. Actually, to be honest, I don't need the maneuver node. I could have just burned this. But we'll use the maneuver node. Okay. We're good, we're good, we're good. Yeah, it's so nice that we're starting to get decent tools here for orbital info. That's really making, I think, the game, if you know what to look for, it really makes things a lot more convenient than they used to be. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So a 2-minute and 19-second burn. I just realized something I was going to do that I completely forgot. Maybe with the next two I'll do it. Is I was going to put a probe body on this lower stage so it can deorbit itself, and I just completely forgot to do that. I was factoring that into my budget as well. Sorry, everything's on the night side. Kind of just the way that one worked out. Okay, again, oh, this keeps closing on me. I'm looking for an apoapsis of 9,654 and then a bunch of decimal places. Got back on the maneuver node. Do some physics time warping, but I think I'll probably screw up if I do that. Paranoid. Okay, yeah, this is the insertion into this big orbit's the thing that is going to definitely cost a lot. The shuffling it over to the moon and putting it into the orbit I want around the moon is actually going to be very, very trivial in comparison. Alright, so going to slow down as we get towards the end of this burn. And again, more than looking at the burn, 9,654 point and change. 9,000. 6. You don't have to be that close, but I get kind of pedantic with these things. To satisfy the contract, you really don't have to be very close. All right, I'm really being silly now. So we got an apoapsis of 9,655 kilometers, which is easily good enough. All right, so now we just need to go out here. Our relative inclination is 0. That's all fixed up for us. So we're just going to put a maneuver node right there on apoapsis. Going to push that out. And we're aiming now for a periapsis. Again, it closed on me. 9,088 kilometers. Okay. Scale is way too small. Other way. Put that right on the apoapsis and then start pushing this outwards. Bit of funkiness there. Oh my gosh, we're already getting a moon encounter. That's interesting. That actually is great. 9,088 is That is actually awesome that I'm already getting a moon encounter. That's great. So just want to make sure this isn't messing me up. I don't think it is. So we get out to here. We do this burn in... Oh my gosh. Oh wait, we're on our way out this way, of course, silly. So this burn's coming up in 5 hours and 52 minutes. Our encounter with the moon is 15 days after that. It's just this orbit is so close to the moon's orbit, it's like as the moon comes by, it just kind of sucks it up. But that's going to make getting our moon encounter obviously super cheap, as in we're getting it already, we're not even trying to. It is funny, I find, that it's more expensive to put yourself in this orbit that's closer to the moon's orbit than it is to get a moon capture. It shows you that the moon's gravity helps you out all the time. Okay, so that's coming up in 5 hours and 51 minutes. I think that gives us time. We just got to remember to come back. But let's add in a little element of chaos by launching everybody. And jumping back and forth and really getting this going. Okay, so, ooh, I was gonna warp to sunrise, but I think what I'm gonna do instead is just do this thing. So, what I want to do, there's a couple of things I didn't like about this. Number one is I had this idea of deorbiting this little ascent stage. So I figure I might as well stick that in there so that that can get that job done. Now, if I take the booster off, does this still have the chops? 1633 meters per second all told. That should do it. Definitely. Okay, so let's put... In fact, it's actually quite a lot more than what it needs. Sorry, I'm looking at where I've written down my budgets. You know what? I'm getting it too complicated doing this stuff. Let's just put this back. Put this back. Let's leave it all the same. Not going to change anything. Just leave it. Here we go. So let's launch another one. And again, for those people that are joining in a little late, the plan here is relay satellites. We're taking advantage of these orbital insertion contracts to put 3 satellites into those specific orbits and then shuffle them over to the moon where they're going to be relays. That's the idea. We'll see how it goes. Now this one is simply going to the moon, so nothing fancy. We can just go to do an equatorial orbit. Hopefully we'll pay a little bit more attention this time and not... I found it interesting that the other one ran out of fuel before it reached the top. I thought I had this all set up. I actually find the little rockets are a little more unpredictable. I think the aerodynamic drag affects little rockets more than it affects big rockets, and I find them a little bit more unpredictable when it comes to how well they perform when you look at a certain delta V amount. Why do I have the Mark III pod? That's like the command pod? Do I have the Mark III command pod? I don't even know. I haven't used it yet. I'm not sure if I do or I don't. I don't think I've unlocked it yet. Was it in the VAB, the Mark III command pod? Or the Mark 1-3? I hope we're talking the same thing. Alright, so I'm watching Apoapsis. Sorry for everything being in the dark. But I want to get this fella off. Alright, so that's 80 kilometers on the Apoapsis. Let's start time warping. Get this done. So when I was in the VAB, I have the Mark III command pod. I might have it unlocked. I haven't used it yet. Fairing. And let's open up stuff. There we go. Oh, wait, we're still... Oh, well, we're high enough in the atmosphere. Doesn't matter. We started in the dark, we've launched into the sunlight, and we're going to end up back in the dark again when this is all said and done. Whoops. I had my fingers in the wrong place. There we go. So we're just going to get ready for our circularization burn here. All right. Again, a little bit steeper, a little bit of a steep trajectory, but should be all right. Oh, let's reduce thrust, get ourselves closer to our apoapsis. Oh, sun just went down. I'm just going to let myself get closer to apoapsis. Actually, let's just lock this on prograde at this point. A little bit closer to apoapsis and we'll start. Okay, this is the final push. The final push here. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, now we can lose our booster. And this was the whole idea with the booster, is that it had that probe body in it, so if I want to, I can do this. The other one was going to deorbit anyway because it never made it into orbit, but now I can do this, and you can throttle up. Get your periapsis down well into the atmosphere or below, and then I can go back and then that will deorbit. And like I said, if you want to put parachutes on that and recover it, you certainly can do that. Okay. This fella is on its way to the moon. Again, all this stuff keeps turning on, but I want to get rid of what I don't care about. Moon. There we are. Set target. About 855, that's way too much. Okay, go to here. And I am very much missing the moon. Doing it too early. There we are. Focus view on the moon, and we can take a look at our orbits here. So I want to go into either of these two orbits. I really don't care. Just trying to reduce this burn as much as I can and still get to where I want to be. Oh, that's about it. All right, so I can see here an apoapsis of 2,325. So what I should be able to is just get close to that. What did I say? 325. I think I said 2,000 or something. I'll never burn it this accurately anyway, so I'm not sure why I'm being this picky. That's good enough, and then we'll undoubtedly have to do a correction, but we're coming here. When you're doing these orbital insertion contracts, the easiest mistake to make is, you see how there's a definite direction to this, to come into this on the wrong side, so you're going in the opposite direction, so do make sure you don't do that. But anyway, that burn's coming up in just 22 minutes. So let's get that done. Oops. Back to here. Warp to that maneuver node. And there's our sun. Again, a 2-minute and 25-second burn because of my sad little engines I put on there. Okay, get that ready. So now we can see the probe a little bit. Okay, 2, 1, and go. What I definitely need to keep track of, I'll go back and take a look when I get to it, is which orbit this one's shooting for. So I make sure with the third one that I launch, which I'll do right after I finish this injection burn, is go for the other orbit. I don't want both of these aiming for the same one. That would be embarrassing. And trust me, at the end of this, we're going to have a nice relay network around the moon. That's the plan. Let's a little physics warp into this. Make this go a little quicker. That's the downside of the physics warp, is the controls become touchy, become more twitchy. Keeping it on that maneuver node. Okay, let's watch this out from the moon. There's the moon. There's the moon. Focus that view. So I'm going for the sort of teal colored one. So the other one's got to go for the green one. I'll get to that soon. Okay, start reducing the throttle here. Here it comes. 325, I think, is about what that apoapsis was. That's pretty darn good. All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to do... You know what? I don't think I'm debating. Yeah, let's do an orbital... Let's set up a correction burn. I was debating whether or not to do the correction burn right now or to wait until we're in the moon's sphere of influence, but it will be cheaper now, so let's do it now. So, moving that like that. We're going to turn up the time scale. I'm just going to get a feel... This burn does... Oh, it doesn't really matter where around this. Anywhere along here is fine. It's all going to be the same. Okay, so I want to bring it down. So we're in the same plane and... Oh, I cannot see it. Too many things close together here. There. And... I want it just touching the orbit. As far as I can tell, that's good enough. As far as I can tell. So that burn's coming up in 1 hour and 16 minutes. That's going to be before the other maneuver I'd set up. And oh, let's get the next one going. Oh, yeah, let's go back to the Space Center. We got one more rocket to launch. You know, you can launch them this way too. Let's go to here and what I call this thing? Moon relay. Why do I have 2 of them? I don't know. They look identical. They do. So let's launch. Alright, and we'll try and do this. Well, I can't really do it any quicker than... It is what it is. This one's also going to the moon, so it's just equatorial. So it's an exact repeat of the one we just did. And then after we get this out, that's when the fun's going to start. I think. That's when all the orbital maneuvering and all that kind of stuff all starts. Okay, let's knock it over a little bit more aggressively than we did last time. Okay. honestly might be a little too aggressive. Back off a bit. Yeah, it's definitely too aggressive. Don't flip out, don't flip out. Okay, now we'll lock it on prograde. Should be able to just ride that prograde vector for the rest of this. Alright. Everyone is absorbed, I think. Chrome Nix? Right? Am I saying that right, Chrome Nix? Alright. And this is kind of, to be honest, the boring part. I think the fun stuff starts after this guy's on his way to the moon. Okay, again, just watching out. Oh, getting nice heat gauges. There we go. A little bit more aggressive that time. That's okay. Everything should be fine. Ride this up to apoapsis. Okay, and fairing. Okay, deploy everybody. We'll just get ready for this circularization burn. Last one. Everybody's on their way to the moon. That is the goal. I started that a little too early and a little too aggressively. Started pushing that apoapsis away from me. Let's try that again. Alright, final push. Here we go. Alright, beautiful. Okay, deorbit. That was the best one yet. Deorbit this guy. Come on, spin around. You gotta be a little careful with that, because if you thrust too close to this rocket, you can actually push it. I think I did push it. Look at its I pushed up its apoapsis with my exhaust. Its apoapsis increased, I think, when I did that. Okay, final go to the moon. Let's get out there. So moon is target, and then I really gotta watch those maneuver nodes. Okay, look at this from the moon. Where's that? There it is. Okay, and dial the time down. Gonna back off a bit here, I think. Nope, more time. And this one's going for the green orbit, I believe. Yes, it is. bring this a little more. Okay. Oh my gosh, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. And this one I really do have to eyeball more because I don't have that convenient apoapsis there. All I want is the periapsis to be kind of over the orbit. I think that's kind of close enough. I think so. Yeah, I'm fiddling with it too much. Okay, that burns in 21 minutes. You can also pull on these guys. Absolutely, I can, but I find clicking on them to be just more accurate. Could all 3 satellites have been launched with one ship? The answer to that question is absolutely. To be honest, the last 2 I did, here, let's time warp. I only realized, people were talking about this in the chat, and I only realized what they were talking about recently. There's a time warp button too. Right there. That's nice. Definitely these last 2 could have easily been on the same ship because they're both going to the moon. Their destination was close enough to being the same that there's no reason they couldn't have gone on the same ship. The first one, however, is going to a very different destination than these 2. I mean, they'll eventually all end up around the moon, but its initial orbit is going to be very different. So I could have maybe kind of done it, but I thought in the interest of just doing things quickly, just building 3... like just building one of them that I knew could do any of the 3 missions and just launching three in a row would be... Or either that or I'm going to be spending a lot more time in the VAB building. I don't know. Maybe I should have tried to put them all into the same vehicle, but I didn't. We kind of got what we got now. Again, the key to this is... Here, we're just about to come to our burn here, and then I'll talk about it. If I wasn't worrying about those orbital insertion contracts and I wanted to build a relay network, then there's definitely techniques to get them really easily, nicely placed that I have definitely made videos on how to do that if you've not seen them. But the key to this one is that each of these satellites are actually doing double duty. One, they're going to satisfy this orbital insertion contract, and then they're going to do a relay contract. So, because if you're just flat out doing relays, there's definitely an easier way to do this. Yeah, let's actually not quite on that maneuver node there. Okay, let's do some physics time warpy stuff. Try and speed this up a little bit. My biggest fear is that with all these maneuvers I'm setting up, that I'm going to end up forgetting or missing one or getting them out of order, and one of them's going to go blowing by its maneuver and I'll messed it all up, and that's definitely not what I want to do. I want to make sure this is all... But I thought, why not add... Oh my gosh, I should get to... Here. I'm talking too much. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to cut... I should be watching this from the moon. Let's cut this. Get out to the moon. Start this up again. Here it comes. That's good enough. Close that. Okay, so we got some sort of funky glitchiness going on. I definitely need to bring this trajectory downward, so we're going to do a maneuver node, and I want to move this 2 hours from now. And the only reason I'm moving it into the future like that is I want to make sure that it's after the first one I set up, or else And we'll double check on that a little bit. But this is going to be, need more delta V here. This is just going to be a normal burn. Am I missing something here? Oh, I am, because I'm clicking in the wrong place. Oh my lord. Okay, here we go. So this is just to get that. I want the periapsis to be just touching the very outside of that green trajectory. That's kind of the goal. Maybe a little bit of radial outness. Oh, no, radial inness gets it going. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Okay, so that burn's coming up in 2 hours and 1 minute. And I think, now that I've got so much going on, my plan, what I need to do now is get to this one. I believe so. No, that one's, oh my gosh, I'm losing track of what's what. I should have named them different. Okay, you know what? I'm just realizing they all have the same name, and that's really confusing me. So this one is, rename it. It's going to help me keep things straight. Moon Relay number 3. And I think my other one on its way out to the moon. Oh my gosh, must be this one. Let's switch to that one. Spaghetti Orbits is absolutely right. Is this one on its way out to the moon? Yes. Okay. And it hasn't done its maneuver node yet. It's still 41 minutes away. And while I'm looking at it, I'm going to rename this one Moon Relay number 2. This was the second one we launched. Set that. And this is a very tiny orbit. Notice the burn time is only 0.2, like 0.2 of a second. So we're going to dramatically turn the thrust down on this. Are you kidding me? It's still that low? How can that burn time be like, oh, they're not connected. How did these two get not connected? Oh my gosh. That's not encouraging. Okay. So these have to be the same, or else we have trouble. I put these on with symmetry, so I don't understand why they're not the same. There we go. That changes the burn duration to 8 seconds, which will be easier to manage. All right, so I'm going to quick save at this point because I'm really starting to get into paranoid mode that I'm going to screw up. I'm going to hit the warp button. And we're going to move towards the moon a little bit, but only 40 minutes towards the moon. Not really that perceptible we're moving. We're moving away from Kerbin. That's more perceptible. Okay. All right, we're 1 minute away from the burn. We're going to put this on the node. And I don't have to wait for this countdown to get to 0 because this burn is by no means a precision timed burn. We're going to watch this from the moon. Focus view. And again, I'm just aiming for bringing this orange trajectory down to the blue orbit. So let's just do that right now. And I can take as much time as I want with this. Really doesn't matter. And call it. And I was definitely watching this, not the maneuver node. Okay, so that's good. So this guy is on its way to the moon. We are encountering the moon in how long? 3 hours and 18 minutes. Okay, let's check on our number 1 here. So 3 hours and 18 minutes, we best be back here. Let's switch to this one. This one maneuver is in 4 hours and 1 minute, so that's interesting. It's taking longer to get closer. I'm going to rename you. This is my last one. 1. Accept. All right. So 4 hours and 1 minute for its burn. That's further away. So now we got to get to number 3, which is you. And this burns in 1 hour and 18 minutes. Again, teeny tiny little burn time. And again, I find that really interesting that even though I put these on with symmetry, that's something to be aware of. These two now have are not connected. When I make a change in one, I got to change them both. Okay, that changes the burn time to 7 seconds. All right. Let's get to that maneuver. Say bye-bye, Kerbin. Bye-bye, Kerbin. These time warp buttons are great. I wish I discovered them a lot earlier than I have. Okay, we are there already. So flipping this around onto the maneuver node. Watching this again from the moon. And again, the idea here is this orange trajectory needs to come just down to where the green orbit is. And again, we don't have to wait for it to get to 0. We can just do this right now. A little further. I think that looks good. All right, so yeah, we can fine tune that a little bit more once we enter into the moon's SOI. So this guy is going to be at the moon. How long until you're at the moon? Oh my gosh, it's everything is so glitchy. 5 hours and 56 minutes. I got to keep track of this. So this is in 5 hours and 56 minutes. Let's 5 hours. I think that's the last one I need to check. I'm going to check on you again. That was 5 hours and 56 minutes. This guy's maneuver is in 2 hours and 42 minutes, so you're before him. But I do think number 2 is actually going to come before all of that. You are entering the moon's SOI in 1 hour and 59 minutes. Yes, so you win the I need to look at you first award. One thing I do know is I got to put these thrust limiters back up. This one I turned it down and then forgot to put it back up. All right, so let's get to the moon's SOI here. Okay, we are there. And now what we need to do is set up the burn to do the capture. What do you got there, James? If you set up your retrograde capture burns now, then you can at least easily see how long. Yep, until the next burn. Absolutely. So we're going to set this up. Let's focus on the moon. We're going to set this up right now. Now, if we take a look at our contracts, just look. This is the one from Zalt 325. Which is this orbit? Specific orbit about the moon's what I'm looking at. Is that this one? Yes. Notice that, oh, there's an argument of periapsis. Sometimes people look at these and don't know what they mean. All you got to know is that this is defining where the periapsis needs to be. So that means I do have to have not only this periapsis of about 60 kilometers, but also have the periapsis of my orbit be about there. So basically, it just comes down to you got to match the blue orbit that you see there. So we're going to go to here. Okay, why did that do that? Oh, no, that's cool. Okay. And we obviously are going to need a large amount of retrograde. There we go. We got to bring that periapsis down to about 60 kilometers. So that's getting pretty close right there, but it's not. It's pretty darn close to being in the right spot. But just to tweak it, you use the radial components of the of it, and so I think I need to burn radially outwards. Is that... Yes. See how radially outwards moves it. So that's how you tweak not only the amount, the altitude of your periapsis, and conversely your apoapsis as well, of course, but also the position of it. So what has it got to be? 60.2? Okay. And again, it doesn't have to be super precise. That I'm sure is going to be fine. I think that will definitely satisfy that contract. So that burn is an hour and 42 minutes. Oh boy, I'm really starting to... Okay, an hour and 42 minutes. I'm really starting to regret this, doing them all at the same time. This moon encounter is in 3 hours and 53 minutes. But this guy... Oh, he looks like he's getting close. Switch to... He's in 39 minutes, so you win the prize for the award to have to be there first. So, I guess we're just going to warp there. Yeah, that's all it is. So let's warp out. We'll bring up our contracts again. This is an orbit about Kerbin. This one has a specific longitude of the ascending node, so you have to have the ascending node in a particular position. All right, this is going to be mostly prograde, if not entirely pro... Oh, we can just lock it on prograde. Oh, we already have the longitude of the ascending node in the right position. We made that obvious at launch. So what we're doing is we're just going to be pushing up our periapsis to match this big red orbit. And that will be one contract out of the way. 2 more to go. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and burn. Oh, why did... Oh, how's this thing off of kilter like that? How did... Oh my gosh. Okay, stop. We're going to restart that. I guess I did that, didn't I? Must have at some point. I don't know when I did that. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it now. It's done. Okay, so somehow I'll have to go back and look at the tapes. Bye, Felipe. Thank you for joining us. And this time what I'm going to be doing, let's make sure I got the right one, is really just watching the orbital parameters here. And when they go green, I'm done. Hopefully they'll go green despite that little bit of a mess up right there at the beginning. Okay, let's turn the throttle down. There it is. Okay, that just checked off there. So that is a contract that has been completed. Oh, I just realized I didn't complete the contract because I overlooked that I was supposed to have a mystery goo on it. Ah, the fine print. It gets me every single time. Okay, well, it can still be a relay, can't it? So, I remember seeing a moon encounter. So let's see if we can get that set up. So we're going to be pushing this up. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. At year 1, day 63. Why is it saying it like that? That's weird. Okay, 13 days. Yeah, it feels about right. Okay, so let's make this a little sooner. Okay, focus on the moon. See if we can set this up. Focus on the moon. And where... Oh my gosh, this inclination. Okay. This... Where is it? There we are. Okay, so we need to push this outwards this is going to get finagly. I think what I'm needing to do, I think I'm going to just... I think I'm just going to get the encounter that I get, and then we'll deal with getting the orbit that I want afterwards. I'm just going to live with that. 24, at least it's not hitting the moon. And then we'll do all the inclination changing and all that kind of stuff, because I really think... I don't know. Whoops. Oh, I know what I should do. No, I shouldn't do this. I should not do this. Let's delete this node. I know why I'm getting the crazy inclinations. Because I'm not doing this at the equatorial ascending or descending nodes. That's the time to make this burn. So if I do this right at here, and now do it, now I'm missing the moon now. We can see that here's where the we're here when the moon is there, so that's not good. But what we can do now is start to pop ahead orbits, and we should be able to... There it is. So this is going to take a little longer, but it should be a much better... Well, maybe not a better encounter. So much for my theory. I thought this would be a much better encounter this way. Push it outwards. Alright, that's worse. Okay, so forget everything I just said. Going back to what I had here before. Where is our satellite? Just going to live with what I got, and we'll fix everything when we're in the moon's SOI. Oh my golly. Such a glitchy encounter. There's the kind of thing I'm looking for. That looks good. I'm going to just go with this one. Let's see if we can move it a little bit closer in time to us. Oh, I'm hitting the... Oh my gosh. Not hitting the time buttons. I think I just messed this up entirely. Well done, sir. Ah, what'd I do? I was meaning to push it forward in time, and I ended up... There it is. I don't want to spend too much time with this finagly stuff. Okay, there we go. Just going to deal with that. Okay. Good enough. We'll fix that when we get to it. So it's a tiny little burns coming up in 5 minutes. Let's just make sure nobody else is going to be in trouble in 5 minutes. So you are not encountering the moon for another couple of hours, and you got your burn in 55 minutes, so that leaves me time to get to you. Where are you? Here you are. To do this burn. Okay. Boom. $32.5. I just want to, again, it's not very much of a burn, so I want to reduce the thrust here a bit. Okay. Alright. Let's just do this, and we'll watch this from the moon. Where's the moon? Okay. This is where alarm clock shines. You're absolutely right, John. I'm sorry you didn't get the reminder. I can't control what YouTube does. Okay, so I'm just going to do this burn. And then I've not played any of the PS4 version because I don't own a PS4. And that's nothing against the PS4. I'm just never been... Not much... When my kids were much younger... Oh my gosh. Sorry, this is getting... You know, we did all the console things. I think I'm just going to have to see if we can not... I know it says technically we don't have an encounter, but I bet you I can make it. See if we can just fix this just real quick. Yeah, when the PS4. You know, we did all the console things when my kids were younger, but I've always been more of a PC person. I do own a Switch. Well, actually, my wife technically owns the Switch, I should say. I don't technically own the Switch. I'm not sure if I can fix this inclination. Oh my golly. Okay. I think I might just need to... It's these encounters where your relative speeds are so close, are so sketchy. What if I just push up my... I'm just barely encountering the moon. I'm just wondering if that's really what the issue is. Oh, but this slows myself down so much. I just gotta live with it. Just want to make sure I hit. That's all. There we go. We're going to go with that. So a teeny tiny little burn. Hopefully that will get us what we need. Alright, so that's not coming up for another day and 3 hours. So we don't have to worry about it for a while. Let's put you onto here. Whoa, I'm still locked on prograde. So that's coming in a day and a half. Back to you. You are rapidly closing in. Okay, so 48 minutes away. Let's get that done. You should be zooming in towards the moon. Oh, there's the moon. And this is... Which contract are we looking at? That is not this one. This one. Yes. Right? No, it's not. It's this one. My mistake. There we go. So again, I'm just going to do this until our contract requirements go green. 38-second burn. I'm assuming thrusts are at full. Both of them this time, please. Getting ready here. Three, 2, 1, and go. Maneuver node. Okay, slow this down. Notice I let that get away on me. Come on back. I messed this up a little bit. Sorry, I was actually multitasking. That was my mistake. Or, actually, I think it disappeared on me. Oh, shoot. This was the one. What's not right? Put this on the orbital parameter. Sorry, I was doing a little my periapsis is too low. I think I overcooked it. I think I lost track of the contract and overcooked it. No matter. There it is. Now it's gone green. And, oh, this one was supposed to have a Science Junior on it. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. So, what we need to now is put this into a relay orbit. And the relay orbit I am shooting for, and I'm close enough to apoapsis, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to lock this onto prograde. And we're going to make our periapsis 377.35 kilometers. And if I circularize there, that's going to give me a period of 3 hours, which is what I'm going to be shooting for this relay network. So, here we go. Push this up. 377.35. Now my apoapsis that I'm looking at. That's close enough. Okay. Put that onto the maneuver node. And we've got to get back when we are at apoapsis here. It's in 1 hour and 18 minutes. When is this fella finally going to get to the moon? Two hours. So nope. The other one's going to win. Okay, we're back to you. Okay, so let's time warp. Put on our orbital data. Where's our moon here? Put this on free view. I like it. There we go. Okay, we've got to get out to apoapsis. Just want to make sure not to over time warp this. I'm really guilty of easily over time warping. I'm not going to use a maneuver this time. Instead, what we're going to be looking at is our orbital period, because that's the thing that's really important. And we want to put all the satellites into the same orbital period. And 3 hours is an easy number for me to remember. We're going to take these two and pin them. I'm probably going to need to change their thrusts down when it comes to the final tweak here. Okay, where are we here? We're about 10 seconds away. This isn't going to be much of a burn because our periapsis is already pretty high. Okay, so 377 point... Oh no, 3 hours on the period. That's really what I'm looking at. So it's 2 hours 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. And we're going to do little puffs. Okay, now we're going to turn down the thrust. Turn this to 12.5. And, okay. I want to get it to the second. There it is. 3 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. That's what I was shooting for. This satellite is now in its final relay type position. So all I'm going to do is just put it onto normal vector, if I can take it off of prograde. And I did that all, never got into the little I just realized, never got into the little probe. Let's decouple. Shoot. You know what? I'm going to leave it. If I decouple, the force of that decoupler is going to mess it up. and like mess up that carefully put in orbit I just did. So there's our first relay. It's in this beautiful little blue orbit. I didn't satisfy the contract because I messed that up. Okay, next comes relay number 3. Remember, the other one's still a day and a half away. And it's got a glitchy encounter, but hopefully it will do it here. Let's just time warp to that. Now, does this guy have any special hidden fine print that's going to mess me up? Can't look down that far. Oh, there it is. Yes, have a thermometer on the satellite. So we're not going to satisfy any of these contracts. Well, that was really well done. But we'll get relays out of the deal. Oh my gosh. What a melon head. That's funny. You know what? As I'm not going to be satisfying this contract, why don't I not mess about? I'm going to not even try for that orbit. We're going to expedite this by pointing out radially. My inclination must not be great either. Well, it's not bad. Okay, we're going to point out radially. And what I want to do is to move that closest approach to that magic number of 377.35. We're going to go straight for the orbit in question. Oh, that's radially in. Radially out. This one with the lines going out. Silly. There we go. Try again. 377.35. My thrust must still be microscopic, is it? Yep. All right. Final go. We can watch it from the moon here. 377.35 is what we're going for. We're going to ignore contracts because I messed up every last one of them. Overdid it. Let's go back this way. Turn down the thrust. 11. Okay. All right. And now here's where this is going to be a little different. Here, we should put this thrust back up again because we're about to do capture burn. So what I want to do, center this on the moon. Here's the plan. Is I want to... Sorry, I just realized I don't have the chat window up anymore because I was doing other things. Sorry. Let me get that back up. There we go. Sorry, everybody. I was... I actually was looking at a spreadsheet, to be honest. I lost track of the chat. We're back. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get this orbit, same orbit as this one, but I want to be able to be exactly 1/3 of an orbit either ahead or behind Moon Relay 2. So we'll look at how to do that in a second, but right now we're not going to shoot straight for this orbit. What we're going to do instead, and this is just very general because I'm probably going to tweak this. This is giving me a projected period. So let's go with, notice how, I love that in the game. I thought this is awesome. If you have the maneuver selected, this is your projected apoapsis, periapsis, and other orbital parameters. So I'm going to go for a period of about, this is not precise. That's good enough. 4 hours and 22 minutes. I haven't done any calculated yet. We'll have a better idea when we get down there. So that burn's coming up in 1 hour and 31 minutes. So let's do that. Again, we'll warp to it. We're going to perform the burn, and then we're going to talk about how we're going to get this into the position that I want it to be in. Okay, retrograde. Get ourselves a little closer. Two, one, and go. And yeah, once we're in this orbit, we'll talk about how we're going to end up getting this into its right position. But what I need to do is take a look at... Okay, we'll get to that in a sec. We'll just finish this off first. And actually, I don't even need to burn this particularly precisely. That's good enough because I was just sort of guessing at that anyway. So if I go to advanced, no, rendezvous information, that's what I want. I want to go to here. Sorry, I've not done this in stock yet. I'm going to set that as a target, and if we take a look at our orbital info here, it gives me, I'm pretty sure, a phase. Does it not give me a phase angle? I thought I had a phase. Oh, I got to go to here. There it is, a phase angle of 115 degrees. Oh my gosh, that's close. That is so close to what I want it to be. I want this phase angle to be 120 degrees. And what this is measuring is if you connect both of these two satellites to the center of the moon, it's measuring that angle. 120 degrees is 1/3 of a circle. So what I'm going to do is actually keep myself on... this is really going to be done from the hip. I'm going to put myself into an orbit. Oh my gosh. I'm doing too much thinking at the same time. How much? 115. I'm off by 5 degrees. 5 degrees of 360. Oh, I'm not going to do a calculator. I'm just going to do this from the hip. Okay. I want to put myself into an orbit that's a little there. I'm just doing it. So it's about 10 minutes longer. This orbit of our Moon Relay 3 is about 10 minutes longer than this one. So that means that by the time we go around, this one will be a little bit more ahead of us, and maybe it will have picked up that extra 5 degrees I want. We'll find out. Again, you can get into trying to calculate it because it's just 5 degrees of 360s. We can do. You know what? I know pulling out a calculator during a live stream might not be the most thrilling thing in the world to do, but I'm gonna pull out a calculator, and none of you can see me doing this. 5 degrees of 360 is that decimal times that by 3 hours. That gives me that times 60. I want to be just 2.5 minutes more. 2.5 minutes longer period. Should do it. I'm glad I looked. I'm going back to here. Looking at my period. I want it to be reduced to 2 minutes and 30 seconds more than 3 hours. That was a worthwhile calculation. I'm hoping it's going to work. There we go. See how this works. We'll find out when we come around, which actually I think is going to be very, very soon. So I don't think we got anything else happening in a bit. So we got this periapsis coming up. Oh my gosh, there's too many circles. Well, there's our periapsis here. Okay. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes and we'll make this work. Yes, we will. Okay. How long until there? 2 hours. The other one's nowhere near. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to just watch from here. You can see how this hopefully will work. So as we move along, because we're going slower, our phase angle should be increasing. See that? So that means that the other relay is pulling ahead of us. And when this is at 120, there it is, 120. I think I'm going to just do it here. Let's do it. Yep. We're going to just do this here. This is, we'll tweak the orbits better in a second. But getting that phase right is way more important. 14.5. Okay. So by putting myself retrograde, and I want to look at our period, that's going to take energy out of our orbit, which will reduce our period. And I want this period to be 3 hours precisely. Gotta change this one too. 2. Turn down the thrust even a little more. 6 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. There we go. So let's put this, I don't know, I'm shooting from the dark here again. So now we're in a orbit with a period of 3 hours. And I wish there was not this many orbits to see. But maybe if I put the lines in, will that make it better? Oh, there we are. Here's our 2 satellites. And we're 120 degrees, pretty darn close apart from each other for our phase angle. Yep. So I can take this target off. I don't need this anymore. Remove target's what I want to do. Oh, I think it's this one I'm targeting. There we go. Unset target. I got mine mixed up. But what I'm going to do is right around here. My orbit's a little more elliptical, so I'm going to get myself to the point where I'm about halfway to periapsis. There's going to be a lot of orbital finagling here, about here, halfway between periapsis and apoapsis. I want to keep my period the same, but I want my apoapsis to be lower and my periapsis to be higher, and I'm going to do that by burning radially outwards. So that's going to raise this part of my trajectory, lower the other part of my trajectory, but hopefully change my period too much. So you can see how this is going to work. Here we go. So there. Yes, yes, yes. Now I can see I knocked 3 seconds off my period there. That's not a problem. We're going to point prograde. We're going to knock down this thrust once again. I'm just noticing this is another one where I didn't use the other stage. And we're going to add a little bit more energy. Boom. There we go. Period of 3 hours. Periapsis very close to being circular. So now these 2 satellites are where I want. All I need is to get my third one and put it right about there. So speaking of the third one, let's go find him. He's way out here somewhere. We'll get this done. All right, so I have botched the contracts, but I am determined to get the relays working right. I botched the contracts because I had the wrong thing. Okay, so this maneuver's 3 hours away, so let's get to it. Now we're just still orbiting Kerbin, but here's the moon. We want to get to you, Mr. Moon. This is a very, 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 very tiny burn. And to be honest, this is the one that I'm a little bit worried about. I'm a little bit worried about fuel on this one because we got a lot of fixing to do. I'm going to Miss Moon right here. Yeah, focus the view on the moon. All I want to do is get that silly encounter. I don't care about much of anything else. So let's see if we can get this. So it wants to. You want to be an encounter. I can see it. I can see you there. Oh, it's so glitchy. Okay, is that an encounter? Is that good enough? Let's see. If I is this making it smaller? Oh shoot. No, I'm getting for. You know what? I'm gonna live with that. Live with this. Live with this. No more fiddling about. hopefully we'll get to the moon and we'll try and make this all work. So, getting out to map view here. 15 days. Oh my gosh. Okay. I guess we're gonna have to orbit a little bit. Okay, let's do this. That's what I'm interested in. Watch this from Kerbin. Come on. There. Just going round and round till we catch up. We're catching up to you, moon. Okay, the next time around should be it. This should be it. This should be it. Please be it. I'm going to be very angry if it's not. Please. Yes, please. Am I? Yes, we're in the moon's SOI. Okay. So... oh my gosh, it doesn't want... Okay, now we got to make sure we stay here. Now, what's our peri... I'm going to live with this. I'm going to live with this periapsis where it is. Now, we obviously have a major plane change to make. But what I want to do... We got all the time in the world now with this one. That's good enough. All I want to do is get a capture, and then we can make everything else work. Okay, let's put the thrust limiter back up to 100. And this thrust limiter back up to 100. Oh, it's only a... oh, this makes it a 1 second burn. Okay, that's not good. 20. It's a very little burn. Our burn is so small for our capture because our orbital velocity was already really close to the orbital velocity of the moon because our orbits were already so close. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, moon, we're coming for you. We're coming for you. You know, I didn't look at my... oh, well, I should. My communications should be getting better because I got 2 relays out there, right? Technically. I'm not sure if I'm on the near side or the far side or what. We'll take a look at this in a second. Now, this is not a super precision burn. There we go. All I want to do is get a capture, but leave my apoapsis really high. Did I get my capture? I think I did. Okay. Oh, look at that. We're on the far side of the moon and our signal is, our relays are working. Okay, so here we go. The reason why I left this up so high is because I need to make a major plane change, to say the least. And the plane changes are cheapest when you are going slowly, and you're going slowly when you're far out from the parent body. Now, which direction are we going here? I'm not even sure if we're going up or we're going southwards. Okay, so we need to go... we're coming around like this. We need to bring this part of the orbit downwards like that. Like that. That's what we need to do, like that. And we're also going to burn a little bit retrograde like that. And while we're at it, we also want our periapsis to be that magic 377.35. So let's, where's our, and we're, again, it's predicting this for us, which I think is great. You can also look here, we can see what our predicted inclination is, and we'd like an inclination of 0, of course. Oh, I'm looking at eccentricity. Getting my own numbers mixed up. Inclination, there we go. Okay, let's put it back on the maneuver biddies. If you're I'm having trouble getting it right at 0, so that's because I'm not right on the node, but you know what? It's close enough. Okay, what's our periapsis? We need more 377.35 on the periapsis. Of course, that's likely messing up our inclination at the same time. It certainly did, so bring that down some more. So it takes a little bit of playing. I can give myself a little more scale here. You know what? If I select there, that way I can look at both. So I can look both at inclination. Actually, another way you could do this without using that is to set... Nah, I'm not going to say. You can set one of those as a target. That, I lost my node. Okay, need more retrograde. 377.35. I need to fix this. Now I can watch both my inclination and my periapsis. Got to get both of them right. We'll get this yet. Nope, giving it too much. Three 377.26. Still can be a little less on that inclination. Gosh, that's close. I'm going to go with that. So that's 376.9. My inclination is 0.2 degrees. All right, let's get out to that one and do it. This is 118 meters per second burn. I can't believe I'm still on this stage. I still got another probe after this, but let's get out there. So goodbye, moon. Let's change the view to free. There we are. Okay, I can add a lot of thrust to the limiter here. Back up to 100. Okay. Thank you, Rob. I just changed the thrust. That's the delay in the stream for you right there. All right, this is so close I can taste it. We're going to be there. We're going to have all these guys in their relays. In their roundabout relays the hard way. That's what this is. How to do things the hard way. Okay, so now it's just a 14-second burn. But what I really am just going to look at is the inclination. That's what I care about. So 3, 2, 1, and go. And inclination point, I'm going to get it as low. I don't think I can get it below 0.2. No, that's as low as it's going to go. So inclination of 0.2. What is my periapsis at? I want it a little bit higher, but that's easy to do. All I got to do is push this on prograde. Give myself much less thrust because this is just a little tweak. 377.35. Close enough, 377.5. Okay. We are in the final stretch, everybody. The final stretch of relay. Our relay madness is going to end soon. You know what? I'm messed up by the free camera here. Okay, there's what I want. Even though that feels upside down, but there. I don't know why. I need to point everything north. Okay, so now what I'm going to do... I'm going to do the same sort of thing. I'm just going to put a maneuver here at periapsis, and I'm going to leave it... and it's really hard to judge. Well, whatever. We'll go for this. We'll go for this burn, and then we'll tweak our orbit like we did before, and get it in the spot we want. I'm almost out of fuel on this stage, but I got a whole nother stage after that, so it should be good. Yeah, we're gonna actually be staging partway through this burn, but that's okay. All right, let's get down there. We're coming again for you, Moon. We're no longer in this silly polar elliptical orbit. Well, we're still elliptical. We're not polar, at least. And again, I keep thinking... I'm not thinking about communications. I gotta be careful. Okay, we're in sight of Kerbin this time. I mean, it's not like... It's not like my relay network is complete just yet. Okay, just get ready for this burn. And again, we'll be staging partway through it, but that's okay. 3, 2, 1, and go. Let's get ready for the boom. That guy will be ever debris floating around the moon. And there's nothing... I did not make this particularly precisely. So there's nothing... I don't have to make that very precise. But what I'm looking at again... Where's our... Okay, we got to be... Let's select moon, this one as a target. Switch to... Or no, set as a target. And again, we're going to take a look at our phase angle. And our phase angle is... 17.6 degrees. We want it again to be 120. So that is way off. So I'm pulling out my calculator. 17 minus 17.6. 120 minus 7. You know what? Forget the calculator. Forget the calculator. I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is I'm just going to just watch it. Just going to orbit like this. Select the moon. And we're watching our phase angle. Oh, I lost my target. I don't know why. Oh, I switched to it. Oh, for goodness sakes. Let's go back. Switch to. Okay. Set as target is what I want. I don't know why. So what we're watching is this phase angle. And when it starts to get close to 120, we're going to start doing something about it. Geez, you know, this isn't coming close to our periapsis. And look at our phases, 100. This isn't terrible. It's like I planned it, but I didn't. So we're coming very close to periapsis here. And our phase angle is about 104 degrees. So now I am going to pull out the calculator. 120 minus 104 is that. Divide that by 360. Gets that decimal times 3 hours times 60 to put it in minutes. We would like to be in a period that is 8 minutes more than this fella's period. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna get ourselves to apoapsis, and we're gonna do ourselves a little, or periapsis, and we want our period to be 3 hours and 8 minutes. I'm gonna get ready to turn this down. At least I only have one engine now. Okay, where are we? 1 minute and 50 seconds away from periapsis. I want to be very close to periapsis. Okay. Shooting for 3 hours and 8 minutes on that period. We'll see how this works. 10. Okay, let's go. This isn't going to take too long. $10 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes. Okay. So hopefully we'll do one more orbit. Oh, I'm still locked on. I do that all the time. Hopefully we'll do one more orbit, and in that amount of time, our phase angle will be very close to 120. We'll see how this works out. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% confident in this math. This math that I'm doing here. This is sort of a shoot from the hip thing. Oh my gosh. It's definitely going to be, it's going to be close enough. Look at that, 119.9. Considering that, like, how much I just shot that from the hip, that is definitely good enough. Okay, so what we're going to do is, again, we're just looking at our orbital period. We're going to turn down, well, we don't have to quite turn down the thrust yet, but we will be. And we just want to get our period to 3 hours to match the periods of all the other ones. Okay. We're just about at periapsis, and we'll just start doing this. And again, it's not so much the apoapsis and periapsis that are important, it's the period that's important. I'm pushing the time to the periapsis away when I do that. I'm going to get a little closer. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's turn the thrust down. So 10 seconds, not 6, 3, 2. Oh, I went 1 second over. I can't have that. We can't have that. It's a little puff the other way. There we go. 3 minutes, 3 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. What is our phase angle? 119.3. Absolutely good enough. So, unfortunately, we didn't satisfy a single contract, which was meant to be about half of this, but look at that beautiful. I don't know. There's something about that equilateral triangle that just gives me little goosebumps. But I think we're going to call it at this point. Definitely, we're almost at the 2-hour mark with the stream. For those of you that stuck with me, I congratulate you. Next week, we'll do something guaranteed. We'll do something with some Kerbals in it. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.